What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, it's not blood, it's tomato juice. And Desra.
And sitting across from me, of course, is, oh my god, I thought it was blood. But it's not. It's Brian Paul.
And every week on Why We Love
That's
PlayStation
from my
VR,
act.
we dip into the PlayStation VR archive. We're off to a good start.
Yes,
we
we
dust
are.
the blow off an old PlayStation VR game, and we talk about it.
Yes.
We see if it's been given any love by the developers, any DLC, any updates, and we let you know whether it's worth your time. That being said,
Yes.
what game do we decide to play this week, Desra?
I kid you not, this game is called Shooty Fruity.
Hopefully by now people know that this game exists.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. I mean,
But-
maybe some people don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who bought their the PlayStations over the Black Friday sale, and
That's very true.
they may have never even heard of this.
Maybe missed it all together.
Right, and you know, if you scan through, it's like Shooty Fruity. What the hell is that?
Right,
I'm gonna
keep moving.
Yep.
So Shooty Fruity by End Dreams and Near Light, released on January 19th, 2018 for $19.99.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and before we even get into what kind of game this is, man, like
Yes.
End Dreams.
And Dreams.
And End Dreams is interesting, man, because they have more of a track record for publishing things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did develop the assembly,
This is true.
which I personally really enjoy. There's still nothing quite like it on PlayStation VR.
That's true.
But they're more known for publishing. Like they published paw print games,
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Zombies,
Yes, they did.
and they published another game by Near Light,
Mm-hmm.
one of our favorites. Couldn't even do that without laughing. Perfect.
It's not just her favorite; it's perfect.
It's J Dow's favorite.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know about that.
It's all right.
So I got to say, going into this, I wasn't super thrilled because I was like, oh, the last Near Light project, last Near Light and End Dreams, which they did co-develop this time, it wasn't just publishing, was perfect. So I was like, I'm not super thrilled about this Shooty Fruity thing.
Yeah, it literally could not be any different than perfect.
So what kind of game is this?
It's a wave shooter,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
which and those of you who have just like
Just tuned out.
tuned out, no, please stick around. This gets
back
weird.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wave shooter, but it is a wave shooter unlike any you have ever played for any system ever.
It's like a wave shooter ran headfirst into a grocery store job simulator level,
Yeah,
and they made a little baby.
yeah. I think in my review I said something about it was a mix between job simulator, some kind of shooting game, and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
And not just with the fact that there's produce attacking you, it's just that sense of humor as well.
I mean, we only have like 28 more minutes. Can
Yeah.
you survive and not die until the end?
Let's hope so.
Okay, because if you die, I don't know how to finish the show without you. Because then I say I'm Brian Paul, and then nothing happens, and I'm like, how do I finish this? So it's a wave shooter combined with job simulator, kind of, and the whole thing is sort of under the guise of like this 50s, 60s. What's the proper decade for this?
It's a little bit of everything because you've got the high tech. It's mid-century, let's call it
Mid-century.
mid-century. Yes,
Right, that's very non-specific. I like it.
but not only that, it's modern in that it is a super mega mart kind of thing, which didn't exist mid-century. But you are an employee at Super Mega Mart, which is actually the name of the store, and you start. Your kind of load screen is the break room, the break area.
Yeah. And I will say that right off the bat, when you get loaded into the break area, there's this table in front of you.
Yeah.
There's a plate you can pick up and throw and break against the wall.
Yes.
There's a mug you can pick up and throw and break against the wall. And there's pieces of paper you can pick up and throw. And the physics on those pieces of paper they're not like real paper.
I did once actually break the coffee cup by putting the piece of paper on it.
It's kind of a mess. And so immediately I'm like, this is my kind of game. I like to pick things up and throw them. But then the first kind of oddity kicks in. Is like you're like, okay, I want to go over to that thing to buy weapons, or I want to go over to this thing over here. Or I want to go check out the leaderboards, and it is teleportation, but it's like no other teleportation we've ever used before. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna look at that area. It like highlights.
Yep.
And then you push the X button.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then suddenly you're right there in front of it, like that. And you're also very, very close to it. So every single time I've done this, I had to do it, and then I take a step backwards. I'm like, oh, now I can see what I'm looking at. So I don't like the first impression it gives you, because it gives you I get to throw things. And then it's like, oh, I have to do this. But it's just for the menu. So if you ever stop into it and go, ooh, this is bad, it's only for the menu.
Right, and not only that, it's, the teleportation is, you don't move in the game. Like when you're actually playing the game, you are stationary. So maybe it's a janky implementation of a teleportation scheme. It's really not the most important part of this.
It's not. I'm just trying to take it step by step.
Yeah, and also, I mean, one thing before we move across the room, you do have in front of you a fax machine type thing that actually gives you important information. It's kind of your basic tutorial, and also there's awesome memos from the boss. And those of you who get the basic gist of the game and then go ahead and play and don't revisit that fax machine, you're missing a lot of really nice kind of funny humor, humorous memos and things like that. So
I like the way it's delivered, because it's almost like Headmaster in that way.
It is, yeah. The memos are very dry and corporate, but the whole game is narrated by Grace. Grace is this bit of a New Jersey-esque kind of drawl, and she's man, there's so many games that try to get this sort of narrator that's, I don't know, passive aggressively complimenting you, but also just sometimes straight up insulting you and really nasty about it, and they nail her.
And overall, she's been at this job way too long.
Yes,
she's tired of it, and she's sort of just given up on this. She doesn't care whether you succeed or whether you fail. She's got the same level of enthusiasm.
Next time, why don't you try hitting them?
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous.
And it's weird. Even though sometimes a lot of her lines are repeated, it never gets there. There's such a variety of them that it never gets just so kind of overdone, like 100-foot robot golf. Let's say,
please. Please don't put me in a bad place.
Yeah,
I mean, it is weird that you said that, because I heard her say the fruit are revolting 200 times today. Yeah, and I almost looked forward to her saying it because it's said so well and it's so funny.
Yeah, no, the voice acting is great. The writing is really just spot on. So props to that. But we're kind of avoiding what we're actually talking about here.
Oh, you mean the game?
Yeah, well, because you're waiting why is this different than every other wave shooter? It's because your guns.
There's so many reasons why this is different.
Yeah, so basically, you don't have here's my gun, I shoot, and I reload. You have your gun, you shoot, and then it's empty, and you throw it away, and you grab the next gun that's coming down the conveyor belt.
Right. It's literally they're hanging above you, and they're just coming down. And if you miss one, it's well, I'm not getting that one because now it's out of reach, and they just keep going.
And while you're doing that with the guns and shooting the fruit, oh, by the way, you're also a checkout clerk in a grocery store.
Right. You've got to do your job well to keep the guns coming.
Right. So you're sitting there at the checkout. You've got the computer in front of you, the scanner there, and stuff is coming down. So you've got to scan that and put it down these chutes. The more items you scan, the better guns you can get. Now, actually, we should back up.
Let's talk about each job one by one here,
right?
And then we can talk about it.
Well, because what we need to talk about is the fact that you have to pick your loadout of guns for each level.
It's also that.
And so the green colored guns you just get for free. So if you don't scan anything, you'll eventually get the green colored guns. But the more you scan, the more of the higher powered guns you get, and you get higher powered guns by doing better levels. So there's the grocery clerk levels.
And so the first one you're just a checkout person.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it's all it is. It's beep, 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 and you just throw them down the chutes. And the thing about this is that some of the other ones are very specific about what you're doing. Yeah. This is you don't really even ever have to look down. This is definitely made for the beginner level.
Yep.
Where it's you can with one hand, you can just hold a gun in one hand and shoot, and then with the other hand, not even look down and just keep doing the beep, 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 and just kind of making out of the corner of your eyes, seeing that you're pushing stuff along.
Right.
But but also at the same time, you need to be, it's so easy to jump around in this.
Yeah.
So the thing is I was playing this and I'm I wonder if they're going to make this harder because the other ones are much harder. So I was wondering if at any point they're going to introduce, now you have to line up the barcode to be scanned properly, and it's not. So they definitely made it easy. It's the easiest job to do in this game.
Right.
And then we get to the next job.
Well, the difficulty comes in every level. You're given specific missions. So when you have, so there are 3 types of levels, but in those levels you get different missions, and the missions will have 3 different things, like get 1,000 juice, which is sort of the in-game currency you get from killing things in 30 seconds,
right.
Or get X amount of kills with a particular weapon, and you'll need, so each level or each mission has 3 Each
Objectives.
level, each mission has 3 objectives. Thank you. Each objective gives you 1 star. The star is your currency to buy better weapons. So the first type of level are the grocery store. The second are
I feel like the stars are the currency. I thought the stars unlocked more levels.
I'm sorry, you're right. No, you're correct. Yes. The stars.
Currency.
Yes, the stars unlock more levels.
Okay.
The juice is the currency to buy the weapons. You're right. Thank you.
So do we want to talk about the jobs? I want to kind of see.
Yeah. So the next is the cafeteria.
Yes.
The cafeteria. Basically, you are now in a cafeteria. If you've been to, I don't know, like the first thing I thought of was IKEA of all places.
Sure.
Yeah. Just a gigantic cafeteria there, and these trays come by, and you have at the beginning only 2 choices. Eventually, there are 3 of a blue item, a blue,
They're like little
red.
squares, right?
Yeah, and they're basically cubes of food. Like you have your generic video game meat, fish, whatever. And so the trays are in front of you, and so the trays are coming by the conveyor, and you have these piles of blocks of corresponding colors. And all you have to do is just put up the red blocks on the red trays and the blue blocks on the blue trays. It goes bing, and the trays move on. You get your weapons.
And at first, it's super easy because there's like one tray and it's just red.
Yeah.
And so you can, and I know that like a lot of people when they first play this game, they'll put like one red block in the red tray. But man, it's like you want to load that up. It's like put as many as you can in that tray as fast as possible. And then very quickly it becomes, oh, now here's a tray with a red side and a green side. You got to get the right ones on the right side and as many as you can. And then that goes away. And then the next thing you know, there's like 3 compartments with 3 different colors. And it's like, geez, and all the while there's killer fruit coming at you.
Yes.
It gets real stressful very quickly.
Yeah, and we're not talking like, you've seen wave shooters where like, oh, here's 3 enemies.
Oh, no.
And that's done. Here's the next wave. Here's 5 enemies. It's just an onslaught of fruit.
Yeah, there's no wave in this wave shooter. It's just the level and lots of enemies.
Yeah, and then the last type of level are the warehouse, which actually it's kind of drops down as far as the it's not quite as frantic as say the cafeteria level, but there still is a little more skill. Now you're basically packing. You're in a warehouse and you're packing shipments. So the stuff that's coming through is coming down these chutes, and you have to put the right items in these and then pull a lever to send the boxes. And all of these are basically just things to get you doing something else other than shooting at the fruit.
I think it was you that told me that that multitasking is a myth.
Yes,
That like your brain can only do one thing at a time.
that's correct.
And if you didn't know that before, it's fascinating because it's true, and this game will teach you that is 100% true.
Yes. Yep.
And so basically, here's the thing. Like I don't think we really need to get into like techniques and like like crazy things that you need to do. We can.
Okay.
But one of the things that you do need to do, which is like more than a technique, it's like if you don't do this, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Is like you need to kind of stockpile everything.
Yeah, and that's important because you don't have, like I said, you have your, let's say, 6-shot revolver. It has 6 shots, and then you toss it. It's dead. So in the brief moments where things are slowed down, what you want to do is actually pull the guns from the rack and just have a pile of guns on the counter next to you.
Yeah.
And
then with the warehouse level, it's like I found myself because there's a lot of food coming down the conveyor belts, and like there's only specific ones that you need at that time.
Right.
I found myself like stacking up the food I didn't need.
Yep.
And so that it would be there when it did show up, and I needed to pack that food. So now I've got piles of food, I got piles of guns, and I was like, oh my god, it's an episode of Hoarders. It's all gonna crash down around me. There's so many dead cats here.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, this game, I think stresses me out in a way that like nothing else does. I've been playing Counterfight. I've played Diner Duo, and this game stresses me out more than either of those games.
I think it's because the 2 tasks are so different. They have nothing to do with each other. One is, about picking a target, finding the right weapon, the skills you've gained in any other kind of shooting game. Like, oh, this type of enemy wants this type of gun, and I'm going to do that. But then you're also just like, and it's just a very simple task. Pick this up, scan it, put it there.
Yeah, match this color with that color. How difficult can it possibly be? And you're going to see in the gameplay footage behind us that, like, I mean, it had been a while since I played this. I think it had been literally since launch since I played this.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so it took a while for me to get used to this today.
Yeah.
And you're watching that because I just didn't have time to, like, play it for like 4 hours and go, and here's the best footage I could get. You're watching me struggle big time.
And also, actually, if you want to go watch Amanda's, she did this live a little while ago, and that was pretty interesting.
So Amanda has an issue when she plays games. She forgets she has a left hand.
You cannot do that in this game.
No. And so
No.
just FYI, 2 move controllers required in this game because there's no way DualShock 4 would work in this because you literally need to be doing one thing over here and one thing over here.
Right.
See, I can't even do this without like losing it.
And I do want to put a note, because you said, oh, you can just scan stuff and not pay attention. That's not entirely true, because you do get power-ups.
Good
and
point.
if you scan a power-up and throw it away,
it's gone.
You just lost this power-up. So there's a couple, and power-ups you get basically the better you do at your scanning job, eventually you'll unlock, a power-up. It's basically this big coin-looking thing that'll come through. There's multi-shot, which basically you fire your one bullet and it acts like 3 bullets. Explosive ammo, so your bullets explode. Slow time. Everything slows down, which is amazing. I have before thrown away a slow time. No. Infinite ammo. So for 10 seconds, whatever gun you're holding just has infinite ammo.
Which is great because sometimes those star objectives are like, get this much juice in 10 seconds. And you're like, well, I'm just going to do that when that infinite ammo thing pops up. Yeah.
And then honestly, this was listed in the game. I never saw this. And all the time I played it, the one-shot kill.
I could. So here's the thing: is when I was playing today. So if you go back and watch our original review of this, this is one of the early Des reviews,
right?
And so I didn't play it like crazy extensively to review it. So I don't have like this like basic foundation of the game. I was playing today and I was like, I'm not sure what some of these power-ups are doing. I'm just throwing them in and hopefully they're going to do something good.
Well, it does say very clearly when you do it, it'll say multi-shot.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say I saw a one-shot kill.
Yeah, so I didn't see it either, so maybe it's something that you have to do really, really well to unlock that,
or maybe
we
it's...
didn't.
Yeah. Did you see every single level? Because I have not seen every single level in this game.
I got, I'd say, about 80% of the way.
It could be one of those like last couple level things.
Yeah. And actually, that reminds me too is some of the missions. So we talked about you unlock these weapons. You get to choose between 5 and 6 different weapons that you can bring with you in your loadout. Some of the missions have a specific loadout. You can only use these 2 weapons and that's it.
Which is crazy frustrating sometimes because you're using sometimes very often a gun that you don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Like what's the one that's like almost like shoots like 3 mines out?
That's the C4 Catapult.
Thank you. C4 Catapult. See, if I did a little research on it.
Yeah.
And is there a way to blow those 3 up before they're all gone?
It's all 3.
See, and that's
you launch 3, but they do an incredible amount of damage.
Yeah.
So the idea, ideally, you kind of know it's like, oh, this kind. Here's a pineapple, and there's going to be a pomegranate and a watermelon. That's important later. So you launch those 3 and then go, or you launch it where you know what's going to be in a little bit and then fire.
And certain fruit are more susceptible to certain types of ammo, right?
Yes. So there are basically a couple different types, classes of fruit. We can go through them one by one if you want, but
I don't think we need to.
Yeah. So basically, there's like basic fruit, which is kind of like slowly jump at you.
Right.
Your lemons, your oranges, and I think apples. Apples. Then there are armored fruit, like the watermelon is just. It's a huge watermelon. It's armored. It takes a lot of damage to hit, but it moves very slowly. But it takes so it takes a long time for it to get to you. Pineapples are armored also.
I hate bananas.
Yeah, the bananas, which weird, they don't really move that quickly, but they take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
They're like bullet sponges, and then so they fly and then they kind of attack you when they get close. There are a few that just have sort of artillery, like the pomegranates. Pomegranates will spit this sort of juice at you. One that I think is interesting are the cherries.
Yeah,
cherries come flying at you, and you can shoot them in the air, and they die pretty easy. But if you wait for them to drop on your countertop, if you wait too long, they explode, and you get hurt. But if you grab them right before they explode, now you've got a grenade. You can throw it back at the other fruit.
It's a cherry bomb.
The cherry bomb. Yeah.
Cherry bomb. Yeah, and there are grenades too, which is great because they come down the line, and you grab them and you use one hand to do that, or Right, you can just like put it near your mouth and then throw it, and it took me way too long to learn that today. And so I was dropping my gun and then using my hand and then throwing it and then picking my gun back up. Man, you don't have time for that kind of stuff. The grenade comes by, just grab it and use your teeth.
But also to keep in mind with the grenades and actually with some of the scatter shot guns, you can hurt yourself. Yeah. So if you drop that grenade at your feet, goodbye. Yeah.
There's no teleport away option.
Yeah. Well, but no, actually, that's important. The damage isn't against you. The damage is to your countertop.
Yeah.
So, you'll sign, like, hey, I don't know, limes are over there. Why am I hurt? Or why am I getting hurt? They didn't get to me. They're not. They're attacking the countertop. So, and limes especially, they're sneaky little bastards. They come around, they flank you. They come around the sides and your peripheral, so you constantly have to be looking back and forth like this too.
Yeah, but anytime I saw something coming like way from the distance, way off to the side, it was always a lime.
Yeah.
So they do. Each one does have certain characteristics. I noticed that the is it the cherries that fly in?
Yeah, the cherries kind of fly in and then they drop.
There's always 3 of them. So anytime I ever saw one, I knew there were 2 more around. So these are like the little things. Like, again, I don't want to go into this. Isn't a tutorial on how to play Shooty Fruity, but these are the kind of things where like if you think the game's getting hard, these are the sort of things you need to pick up on and be like oh, there's a little bit of method to the madness.
Yeah. And that's that's the word I love about this game. It is just madness. It is pure. Like there are some games which are there to make you show off how badass you are. There are some games that are just silly fun. This is just. Every moment, like, what is going on right now? Like, who are these wonderfully brilliant, just batty, insane people who came up with this concept of shooting at produce, with this crazy humor behind it, and it's just out of control and nuts. It's like when I was talking with Amanda about what games she should play, I was like, oh, you should play Shooty Fruity. She's like, I'm going to be terrible at it. Like, yes, that's the point.
It's totally fine.
The point of this game is to be overwhelmed and go, what the hell is going on? Like that's why you play this game.
I think we should rate this.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay. We're already there.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Why drag it out?
Yeah, sure. All right.
I got stuff to do.
Okay. All right. So a rating scale is pretty simple. It's just 3 little numbers. 1 is, yes, you should buy this game. If you have a PSVR, it's just the best of the system. It should definitely be in your library. 2 is, sure. If it's a genre you particularly like, or if it's on a great sale, go ahead, pick it up. That's fine. 3 is no. Do not buy this game. Friends don't let friends buy crap. We need to vote with our wallets and tell the developers that we deserve better. So 1, 2, or 3. What do you think?
I forgot to put my third finger up for the last one. I was too busy thinking. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do with this one. So, I mean, the thing is like, I was playing this today, and I mean, there's definitely a stigma that comes with being a wave shooter.
Yep.
There's just so many of them. That like how many wave shooters do you possibly need on a PlayStation VR? If you get a PlayStation VR headset,
I'm going to give you a hint about my review. 1.
Oh my god, spoilers. And that's the thing, right? No, but like I like Brookhaven Experiment, and like it gets dark and like kind of scary, and it's like things jump up at you, and like this is great,
right?
So like Brookhaven's my jam. Like if I'm gonna pick one, it's probably gonna be that. But I will say that when it gets dark, because sometimes you go to one of your stages and it's the night shift, right? And
you hear them in the vents,
yeah. You're like, play with headphones. Like the sound and sound design, this is great, and it's like it's even though like. I love when you start a stage off and there's no fruit for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're just like, beep. And it's dark, beep. And you're like,
here they come.
And it's not a scary game, but it still has that ominous feeling like shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Right? And so I love that feeling. And the fact is that like I'm laughing at myself for my inability to multitask, which again, like the more you play this, the better you'll be at it. But man, I just haven't had apparently enough time to play it very much. It makes Job Simulator feel boring. It makes me go, where are my guns in Job Simulator? Why aren't there coworkers attacking me the entire time I'm playing this game? Like it makes other games feel like there's something missing. This is definitely one of the most unique wave shooters I've ever played, and to the point where it does have online leaderboards.
Yeah.
but I've never cared so little about online leaderboards in a wave shooter as I have in this game, because all I care about is A, surviving the level, right, and B, unlocking the next level, and being like just making progress on my own. Like, it almost comes to the point where I'm like, I don't care what my points are. I'm just trying to finish this game, and I'm still trying to finish this game, and which means for $20, man, I've definitely spent $20 of time in this game. This is a 1, and for no other reason that it's just so dumb that you can't help but love it. That's it, man. That's all I got for you. It's a 1.
It's definitely, I think it's a 1 for so many reasons. One, like, I absolutely want to reward these guys for such a creative and different and interesting idea. They took, okay, we've got a wave shooter. What do we do with that? And they just came with this out from left field idea and added this awesome humor to it. Not only that, because the gameplay is at its core so it's so simple to explain. This is a game that you can hand to a beginner and say, this is what VR is like.
Right.
And they're going to have some fun with it, be overwhelmed and crazy, but also it is incredibly challenging. So for the people who are more experienced, I mean, this is a game that works for everyone. So this is like your share with friends at a party. This is your get good leaderboard game. It's $20.
Yeah.
And it's been on sale a few times. Yes,
it's been on sale a few times, and it's been very heavily discounted. I didn't check the numbers, but I want to say this is one of those games where we see it on stuff like $6 along with like Soulless Project and stuff, and you're like, man, if you don't own it by now, definitely pick it up.
So this is absolutely a 1 for me. This is, if I had to pick only one wave shooter, this would be it.
And if you're a streamer, like if you like to play games, on YouTube or on Twitch, this is one of those games that, like, when you get good at it, you can really show off.
Yes.
Because, like, one of the things is, like, just because you have a gun in your hand, you can drop it by hitting the move button, or you can fire it by hitting the triangle, hitting the trigger. So, like, if you have it in your hand, you can actually flip it in the air. It'll flip, and then you can catch it and, like, shoot an enemy. This gets so many style points because, like, you don't ever have to do that. But you can if you're really good, and you can show off and, like, just make your stream look awesome.
And a little hint, I looked this up, and I never thought about this. So you're used to kind of just picking stuff up and putting them in there, right? Especially for the trays and the where.
Yeah.
You can scoop.
It
just never occurred to me. I was actually reading some one of the developers hint pages, like, scoop. It's like, oh my god, yes. And the brief sends it down. Just scoop big handfuls of stuff on there.
Scooping sounds great. Because on those tray levels, I'm going
like one, two,
like throwing them as fast as possible, and they're like just in a flurry of cubes in the air, just like boop, 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 and like half of them are landing on the tray and half of them aren't, and I'm like, whatever, just keep going.
Right, and you can't even look at the tray to see if they're on there because there's a grape firing itself at you.
Ridiculous. So this is one of those games that there's no way you can watch us play it or watch this footage and go that's awesome. You have to get in there for yourself and try it and go oh yeah, no, this is awesome. Well, that about does it for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Obviously, we want to know what other games you want us to play, but more importantly, in the comments below, let us know what you think of Shooty Fruity.
Unless you didn't like it, in which case keep your opinion to yourself.
I want. No. If people didn't like it, like, I mean, it's great to see why people do like things, but like I need to know why you didn't like it if you didn't like it, because like I don't like goofy things. I don't like funny things. This game made me smile the whole time. Or sweat too.
This is definitely a big goofy grin game.
So that's about it for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Des.
And we'll see you. I'll see you. He won't be. And we'll see you next week.